Green is an accredited designer, a member of the Design Institute of Australia and a member of the Master Builders Association. With a wealth of industry experience behind her, Wendy launched her design consultancy, Wow Factor Design, in 2003. More recently, she has brought to market Designer in a Box, a luxury homewares and corporate gifting online store. Her colourful, widely varied resume includes fitting out a restaurant in a train carriage and giving colour advice to a funeral home, among scores of high-end homes and commercial properties in Newcastle and beyond. Wendy's aesthetic is clean and contemporary finishes, with a focus on line, shape and style. Thriving on creativity, Wendy has never overlooked a detail. Welcome, Wendy. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I'd like to know a little bit about the journey that led you to start your own business.
Well, it's 15 years ago. Probably the journey started way before that, but 15 years ago, I did some work for a lady who'd come in from South Africa, and she had no idea of any sort of building materials or products that were available in Australia to build a home. I wasn't qualified then, but I said to her, after being in 7 homes and 2 unit developments, that I could probably help her. So I did, and at the end of the time, she said to me, "Is this your business?" And I said, "No." And she said, "It should be." And it got me thinking about all the other things that I'd done and how much pleasure I got out of doing them. And so I decided to study interior design. And so that led me, obviously, from there to where I am now.
Wendy, how do you juggle the 2 different brands within your business structure?
Very carefully. I found that it's a learning curve. I'm very organised, and you have to be, obviously, trying to run 2 businesses. I try not to let things slide. If something needs action, I take the action straight away, because otherwise it can then create a big drama at the end of the time. I found with the businesses that I have, having them both under the one roof has been a very good move for me after trying to run 2 from 2 different locations. So I think that planning and learning, obviously always keeping up to date with what's happening in your own field, is a big advantage.
Have you ever turned down a client or chosen not to work with someone?
I have, and it proved to be a good thing at the time. Probably 5 or 6 years ago, I went to look at a commercial job, and I just didn't get the right feel from the client that I was going to be able to work with him. And so I just put it as nicely as I could and said, "Look, I don't think we've got a great fit here, and look, I wish you well in your project." And he hired another designer. A couple of months after the job had been finished, I happened to run into her, and she said it had been an absolute nightmare. So for that, I was really glad that I didn't take the job. And sometimes I think that people have to remember that it's about the contact and being able to work with someone well.
Wendy, did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
Holly, it's one of those questions. Of course I didn't. I had no idea, and even now I probably don't see myself as that. I see myself as someone who's really passionate about what I do. I love the learning process, so I think that developing and growing in that way has been really good for me. If you had have said to me 15 years ago that I would own 2 businesses, 1 interior design and 1 online business, I would have said that you had the wrong person. It's not me.
What local business person do you find inspiring?
I think, I don't know if you know Lee Bryant from Scorpion International. I'm a really big fan of Lee's, apart from the fact that I think that in the role that she has with dealing in international freight, she's dealing with, it's basically a man's domain, and not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but she's been in business a long time, she's very successful. She also is a big believer of giving back, and she does a lot of mentoring as well, so I think she's a fabulous business person.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.